We go on our walks in the morning, and what we found was there was a bottleneck at the Kihei boat ramp that didn't allow us to walk down the beach any further than that location. So what we did was we started with help from the state to chisel out a trail that did away with that bottleneck. So that was how we started. And at one point it got to be too big a project for us. And so while we were working on the trail, we would have people stop by and say, "Wow, what are you guys doing?" We'd explain it to them. And they'd say, "Well, you're looking for volunteers. Meet us on Monday morning." And that's the way it started. Our group does dune restoration work. And when you think about it, in nature, Mother does all this dune restoration without us having to do anything at all. But when you're in a park environment where you have a lot of people coming and going from the beach on a daily basis, you have a lot of trail erosion, there's a lot of irrigation that's necessary for the trees and the grass. That irrigation plays havoc with the dune restoration plants. And so it's important to monitor those trails and try and make sure that the sand, which is the key ingredient of a dune, doesn't just blow off the beach. And so that's what our group works on, dune restoration, both with the trails and with the native vegetation.
It's very important that we have healthy beach systems, because beaches, when they're in a healthy state, they are Mother Nature's hazard mitigation, and they protect the development behind those beaches. 85% of our Maui shorelines are eroding. We have condominium complexes in West Maui that, as of this past weekend, are exposed to waves. Beaches are very dynamic systems, and dynamic means that the sand is always moving. And a healthy beach consists of sand not only in the nearshore area under the water, but up on the dry beach, and especially up in the coastal dunes, which is our savings account for the beach. So when we have really high waves, sometimes the sand in the sand dunes is released to the beach to provide mitigation against those high wave events. So the work that Bob and Lise do in restoring our coastal dunes and keeping them healthy is one of the most proactive ways that we can maintain healthy beach systems on Maui. And that's why the South Maui Volunteers and the work they do is so very important.
Once the dunes are established, then it's the case where we can kind of focus on the park again and the access trails and the amenities that are in the park. And at the Kamehameha beach parks, we have been able to build 6 dune walkovers, all with the help of UHC grant and the county planning department, which are able to tell us how they should be built and the materials that should be used. And in the case of all 6 of the ramps we built at the Kamehalehas, there was a tremendous amount of erosion, and so those ramps help solve that. If you're going to install the ramp, then it makes sense to add beaches and signage and other amenities that also educate the public about what the dune environment is like, what plants are used, how we cooperate and work with Mother Nature to keep the park in balance. The Parks Department in Maui has basically 8 districts. If they're to add benches in Kihei, then they're going to have to add benches to the other parks in the rest of the system. We buy the bench that the county wants and install it, but once that bench is installed, it becomes county property.
I was doing a run one day, it might be 5 or 6 years ago, and came across these guys, and I asked them what they were doing, and ever since then I volunteer. That's it. If you see this beautiful beach here, somebody's got to take care of it.
Kihei Charter students have been coming out to help the South Maui Volunteers for about 3 or 4 years. We come every Monday, and they work for a couple hours in the morning, every Monday morning, usually 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. This has been a great program for Kihei Charter kids to be involved in. The students really get to learn about beach erosion and how this work protects the sand dunes. It really helps them be a part of their community and help them make a difference.
Our group gets great support from the county. We get a lot of support from the mayor's office. The Office of Economic Development helps with small grants for funding. There's more people coming to the workday than what we have work to accomplish, so we get lots of support. When Lisa and I moved to Maui about 15 years ago, we never really had the opportunity in our working lives to be able to give back to the community the way we wanted to. And so we decided when we moved to Maui that was going to be an important avenue for us. And this has been such a blessing to be able to come here, be accepted by the Parks Department, and work alongside all these wonderful volunteers, to be involved with UHC Grant and others that make the process so enjoyable for us personally. It's been a tremendous 15-year project for us.
And all the science in the world is very, very important in terms of making decisions about managing coastlines. But all the science in the world doesn't do anything without the help of people to implement that science. That's what the South Maui Volunteers do. They use the science to manage our coastlines by restoring coastal dunes. And we need to find other stewardship groups all around the islands to learn about dune restoration, to learn about healthy beaches, and help us to continue to maintain those healthy beaches for the next generation.